I'm just gonna hit them with some common sense about water. The sun, we know where the sun is. I'm right here at the North Pole. I am the North Pole, and this is where they said it was 4 island lands, and water came here to rejuvenate. This was the rejuvenating of water. That ain't changed all that shit of the Atlantic feeding the water to the Arctic that's up above your head and all this shit. If the water was going to the North Pole and rejuvenating, that means the water should be coming down to feed the rest of the oceans. To feed the rest of the oceans. Yes, all of the Earth's oceans connect, forming a single continuous body of water known as the world's ocean. Known as the world ocean. The distinct name we see, like the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans, are regional designations defined by contents of geographic boundaries, but water flows freely between them via a massive globe current. So, just like I asked that lady when I was in the 5th grade, so all this blue on here is supposed to represent the oceans. Supposed to represent the oceans. Hold up. This can't be that hard for people to comprehend. Hold up. It's got to be us around here. Boom. Hold up. All right. Boom. I show them the oceans. One on salt, one on fresh water, one on salt. They form a line. Boom. The oceans. Some of the oceans. Okay. Historically, the two primary ancient names for the Indian Ocean was the Etherean Sea, and also called Rat, what it is, Ratnakara, from classical Sanskrit. These the oceans. Ain't but 3 oceans, bro. Ain't but 3 oceans. But it's really one body of water. It's really one body of water. The most prominent ancient name is the Sea Atlas. This is the Atlantis. The Sea of Atlas, named by the ancient Greeks after the Titans. Atlas, another common classical term, was used as Occidentalis, whatever it is, because they're saying it's the West. That's the Western Ocean. The Atlantic is the Western Ocean. That's why they travel west. Travel west to the Americas. Colombo traveled west across the Western Ocean, which is the Atlantic, and that's in the center. That's the middle. That's the separation of the East and the West. So that's the Western Ocean. Yes, you are right. Historically, parts of the South Atlantic was called the Ethiopian Sea. Oceania Ethiopicus in the European maps of the flood. So we won't just talk about this water now. The ancient Greeks called the water beyond the world. Ancient Greeks called the waters beyond the known world oceans, while early Chinese texts referred to it as the Great Eastern Sea. Now, why would they be calling this motherfucker the Eastern Sea? So they been plotting. How would this be called the Eastern Sea? We talking about the Pacific. The Pacific waters are called the Eastern Sea. The Pacific sit on the side of the United States of America, on the next side of California. And then when you try to hook Japan up and China up to tell them they're closer than what they is, we way around, because they got to compensate for going around the back of a ball that's not there. They got to compensate for going around the back of a ball. You can't let them have the cake and eat it too, man. Got to compensate for a back of a ball that ain't. Pacific sits right on the side of. It sits right on the side of California, and it goes around. It's flat. It goes around the top and connects with the Atlantic at north. So the Pacific meets with the Atlantic. How the fuck do the Atlantic Ocean feeds the Arctic Ocean water? And they saying the Arctic Ocean sits right there next to the Pacific. Because it ain't no Arctic Ocean, and it ain't no Southern Arctic. Ain't no Arctic, ain't no poles. I'm the pole. Yeah, I'm the pole. I'm the pole. That's what's going on right here. I'm the pole. Exactly. You cannot measure a volume of liquid without a boundary to hold it first. So how can you measure the Earth's water? It has no boundaries. It has no boundaries. The container defines the shape so the scale can read it. Water got to form a shape by the what it's contained in. Y'all get it one day. Water basins contain water by utilizing natural topographic and engineering walls block flow and hold the liquid within the set boundaries. Gravity pulls the water to the lowest point while the surrounding earth rock are concrete concretions. Yeah, you concretions at they stoneworks. Acts as the container. Ain't no gravity pulling the weight of the water and the substance of the water. Water gonna flow down, and the weight of the water, your weight hold you to the ground. Ain't no gravity to hold you to the fucking ground, man. Weight, buoyancy, and density are facts in this world. Now that global world, y'all, I don't know what kind of shit y'all are gonna let these folk keep telling y'all. You hear me? Fluids naturally flow to seek containment. It ain't got no gravity. Fluids naturally flow to seek containment and level out because they lack a fixed shape. This movement allows the liquid to spread across the bottom of the container and rise uniformly until it meets the boundary walls. And then it's measured in levels. Water is spelled L-E-V-E-L. Man, ain't no globe, bro. I just kind of pop that fuck with a few screenshots. I'm gonna pop this right quick. The U.S. then we don't get into like why is they going against farming? See, this is what happened to your people, man. And this is why we eating GMOs. This is why we so unnatural around this bitch. This is why niggas thought process fucked up. Niggas cool eating this GMO food when we was the agricultures. That would let you know that you was God's people, man. You was sustaining the earth and nature, sun, water, land, nature. You feed yourself. Shit crazy. The U.S. restricts agriculture primarily through zoning laws, environmental protection, and quotas rather than outright. I was just looking at this shit. Lands and municipal. That's why they just came in, just going in on the farmers. Told them what they can, goddamn, grow, how much they can grow, put a limit on their shit. How you gonna put a limit on life, nigga? Grow much of this motherfucking shit they wanna grow. This farm shit, nigga. This agriculture, this life, this nature. These folks actually went against nature and made y'all like this shit. Environmental control, clean water, all this old shit. All this old shit. But anyway, boom, get back over here. There is a striking linguistic connection to the Cherokee. And then this is the earth, the Elohim, the L, the earth, L. You make L's in the earth, make L's, elbows in the water, make the water flow in the direction you want it to flow. Call it elbow. This is where they get Elohim from. See? This is where they get the Elohim from. Elohim supposed to mean, no, the Cherokees call the earth Elohim. See how they just be taking words? Don't just start and play with these words. I'm just showing y'all. Don't rise to talking about that water though. See, in many ancient mapping traditions, a stationary earth models, the letter L for the shape of an L square angle is used to represent the boundary, corner, or containment wall that holds the world's ocean in place. You mean you got some squares that hold the water ball? ain't never told about that. You got some squares to hold a water ball. The concept often connects to the idea of the foundation lip, a structural rim that prevents the water. Get out! I can't see. That prevents the water from escaping. When you got some L's, you got some squares around the water ball. What's contain the water ball to hold the shape of a ball? Not the water ball. Y'all can get off that shit, man. We is not on no goddamn planet. We is not on no planet. We is not up there with the rest of them over there with the sun spinning and all that shit, bro. The idea of the Nile flows opposite other rivers. You know, this is a world phenomenon. This is a world phenomenon because the Nile River, it flows the opposite direction from all other rivers in the world. Because, nigga, you think the water going uphill. Watch this right here. The idea of the Nile River flow opposite side of the river stems from misconception that up equals uphill. See, they got you. See how they got you think you going up north and down south. See, when you catch them, you catch them. When you catch them, you catch them. Got to think you're going uphill because the Nile flows north to south. I mean, south to north and empties into the Mediterranean Sea. Empty into the Mediterranean. So when it empties into the Mediterranean Sea, and the Mediterranean is up in them hills in the north. The Middle East is in the north. The sun don't give a fuck about none of that shit in the north. God don't care nothing about none of that shit in the north. So why you listen to the Middle East? Middle East is in the north. These can't be the right people. Oh, it appears to run upward on standard northern hemisphere maps. It appears to run upward, yeah, because y'all got folks thinking water go uphill. In reality, the Nile flows gravity just like every other river flowing downhill from higher elevations. Ain't no gravity though. The earliest irrigation systems used along the Nile basin was basin irrigation developed by the ancient Egyptians around 1000 BCE. It was located throughout the Nile River Valley, particularly in Upper and Lower Egypt. Farmers created a network earthen banks, a network river banks when the Nile flooded annually. These basins trapped the nutrient-rich water and silt, soaking the soil, so crops could be planted after the flood waters receded. But we got to be contained, right? Actually, an irrigation system developed in the flat in Egypt, Mesopotamia, rather than in the mountains. The mountain community in the Middle East and Asia instead inverted terracing and carnacs, underground aqueducts, to manage water on steep slopes. This is what they do in the north, because all of the mountain, it bodies of water, bro. It's run by water, but through. Now watch this. The global water supply is, this how you get them. This how you fuck them up. Watch this. The global water supply is distributed across several main reservoirs. The oceans holds about 96.5% of all the Earth's water. So you mean tell me that ball is the ocean? That ball of water, that's it. Ain't number three oceans. Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Ocean. That's it. Ain't no Arctic, ain't no Southern Arctic, cause that shit fake. And that's how you crunch them in the Pacific. And they know it. And it's at 1.7% is glaciers and ice. Groundwater is 1.7%. Huh? And tiny fraction is, evaporates and all that good shit. Huh? So you mean to tell me, you really tell me, there ain't no outer water that is outside of us, that we ain't inside the ball? So actually, the oceans is actually this ball. The ocean is actually this ball of water. Atmosphere and biosphere found as water vapor, soil moistures, and within the living organism. That's crazy. So that's 96% of the globe. That's the ocean. Y'all believe it's a ball? Come on, man. Why did? The ocean water on the standard globe model represents continuous body of water, salt water, and covers about 71% of the. So how can there's another one I missed some too when they said the Pacific waters were hold up, I gotta go back and get that. I told you about the Chinese, I missed some. I want to say that. I want to say about what the Chinese said. What about them waters? Hold up. What about them waters? Chinese. Oh, I want to get that. Because they said the Pacific is a goddamn rough ride. The reason they can't do certain things, they be lying about. Reason they can't do. And the Chinese text referred to the Great Eastern Sea. Fernando rammed it as being Pacific because it was calm waters. I thought it was rough to go from it was calm waters. Remember that now? See, just called there right there, not the Pacific waters calm. Yeah, I just want to go back and get that. The ocean waters that stand the globe represent the continuous body of salt water that covers about 71% of the Earth's surface. Of the Earth's surface is flat. We surface level. The interconnected world ocean is traditionally divided into two major basins: the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian. And that southern and Arctic ocean shit, that bullshit. It's three oceans, bro. Is there a Pacific? You know what I'm talking about? It's three oceans, bro. And water has to be contained by something. So guess what? The earth, Mother Earth, contains that water, the three oceans. And once you get past sea level, you go into the northern section of the earth, which consists of deserts, mountains, and caves. And that's who y'all listening to when y'all listening to this shit. God don't even go to the north. The sun rises true east, go over Africa, over the Americas, and sets in the west on the Pacific. It don't even shine light to the north. And this is why you know what Antarctica is, in that north, where them people migrated from. They migrated from northwest over to northeast. And that area in between now is very rigid and fucked up. And that's the same area they describe at the North Pole, the same area they describe at the South Pole, Omnipole. That's contained as water. And at the pole, the Arctic Ocean is supposed to flow between these four islands. Then when you look at the four islands, they'll tell you it's Canada, Americas. Every time they switch it around, it's some land that's supposed to be already on another parallel. But you got it up there at the Arctic, though. You got up there at the Arctic, so the Arctic Ocean should be supplying all the waters to the world, not the Atlantic supplying water to this water basin. The Arctic is a basin, and ain't no Antarctic, ain't no Southern Ocean. All that shit Indian Ocean down there. See what I'm talking about? So what contains this water ball? So you mean to tell me the land masses is being contained on the side of some water and just shaking and rocking, and just the water is contained in the earth and not Mother Earth containing the water? Water will always be measured in depth, and it would always stop at your feet. Ain't no water over your head. The only water over your head is the water basins up in them goddamn mountains in the north. Well, God don't like them people. So just straighten up. Just straighten up and fly right. And don't respect the West, because that's where you at. And it's the land of abundance. And that's what make you divine. Your farming skills made you divine. That's what made you divine, bro. Look at the water ball. That's how I'm trying to contain the water ball, because I'm the North Pole. It's supposed to be 4 lands right here around surrounding this black rock. And this black rock represent that disk that's in the sun that they know is the Heavenly Father. And they done deem you against nature. They done deem you against nature, bro. And that's what the fuck they got going on. Atlantic Ocean water makes up approximately 60%. It's more than that. He said more than the last time. This is my last screenshot. Approximately 6% of the total water volume entering into the Arctic Ocean. How the hell did the Atlantic Ocean feed water to the top, up there to the top of the ball? It serves as a primary source of both salt and heat for the Arctic basin. For the Arctic basin. The Arctic is a water basin. And it's in them mountains with them cave beasts and them orientals stay. And ain't no eastern waters over here in this west side, Mr. Eastman. Mr. I rise in the east and I'm the worshipful master of all these fake ass masons and shit. You can't find Solomon Temple in the Middle East because it's probably over here in this homeland over here in the Americas. But you can find it in Japan though. Yeah, I know. With that being said, my nigga, the truth don't need no motherfucking help. We don't live on there ain't no planet. The earth, Mother Earth contains this water. Mother Earth contains this water, contains the ocean. The ocean don't contain Mother Earth. Mother Earth contains the water. Yeah, because water has to have containment. Runs, seek containment, spreads out and rises in levels and will always stop at your feet. It ain't gonna bend, break no motherfucking fold, man. I said, damn.